June 18th, 1976. I dreamt that I was at a house close to the ocean. This little child was with me. We were companions, and we were walking around, exploring and talking. Then Balaram drove up and was going to stay too. Brother Balaram. He was going to stay also. There were two other older people like guardians or parents. I could see the ocean from the house, and the waves were getting big, so we ran down to the beach. There were a lot of surfers out, and when we went swimming, the little child was behind me, and the surfboards were coming straight for us. So I went under the water and prayed, "Divine Mother, protect us." And as I could feel the protection as the huge waves rolled over our heads. Then we got out. Some potted plants had been rolling in the water, and we took them out. It was broken and roots were exposed, but I didn't repot them. June 22nd, 1976. I dreamt I was walking down this country road with a companion. In front of us, about 50 yards away, was this white horse. Right away, I felt this fear and panic inside. So I said, "Quick, climb up this fence to protect yourself." My friend wasn't afraid, and she sort of backed off and watched the scene. The horse came running towards me and violently reared up and tried to kick me, but only succeeded in scaring me. Then the horse trotted away and began feeding again. I quickly ran up this embankment for more protection, and sure enough, the horse tried to get up it, but it whacked its nose with a rolled up I whacked its nose with a rolled-up newspaper, and the horse ran back down. For the third attack, I gathered rocks and a huge stick to hit him with. And as I prepared myself for this great defense, my companion, who now looked like Gail, said, "Why don't you try love? Love will conquer." I knew she was right, and when the horse ran up for the third time, I greeted him with love, and he returned the love. Then all three of us walked back down the road, and the horse was playfully nibbling on my hand. But this fear rose up again inside, so I made him stop, and my friend said again, "See? You are still afraid. Don't fear. He's not going to hurt you." Finally, the horse trotted ahead and retrieved a pair of gloves that I had once thrown at him earlier. I woke up feeling that the horse symbolized death, or the destroying of, and my ego was the target. The companion was my higher self, and love conquers the lower nature, the ego, trying to protect itself against the white horse, who was a threat to it all. Love conquers all. Love conquered the ego and the destroyer of the ego. July 7th, 1976. This was a weird dream, but it ended good. It started out with me walking down the street with a skirt on and no top, except my hair was covering the front. A girl was with me, and she wanted to hitchhike and get to this party faster. At first, I was hesitant and afraid because I was aware that I was revealing something that might cause too much notice. Anyway, we are at this party, and the birthday boy comes, and we give him this huge cake with orange roses on it. Then somehow I leave and start flying away, looking for something. The distance I traveled was so great, I even flew over the ocean to this big, crowded arena-type theater. Then I flew around and around. It was huge. I wasn't repeating the circle till I came to a few people standing among the crowd outside the arena. They were wearing orange sannyasin robes, and I said, "There they are!" At that moment, I knew what I was looking for. I knew I was looking for her. I landed right in the middle of them, turned around, and there's Ma looking at me. I fell to her feet, and she lovingly placed her hand on my back. She continued to talk to the others while I just stayed there holding her feet. It's such an odd dream, but nice ending. The interpretation came to me that the arena represents this world, Earth, and I left one state of consciousness to search for another. Ma and her work are in the world, but not in the center of the world or of the world. Flying around and around symbolizes my soul flying around Earth looking for the right place to land. Landing in the midst of the group symbolizes me being brought up in the Vedanta religion and the ashram. And holding on to Mother's feet symbolizes holding on to my ideal and not letting it go. Hooray! This is what I write. Hooray! Short dreams, the gist, August. Driving down the road in a car and seeing a grayish white horse tied up, gnawing on the rope. It gets loose and runs down the street, now having two heads. I feeling fear and seeking refuge in the small room where Ma is. Finally, the horse comes into the room and befriends us all and is no longer wild. Dreamt that I was in this big, huge mansion, and there were at least 3 or 4 bathrooms in each room. I was going from one bathtub to another, looking for the right one to take a bath in. I finally found one, but this man was going to use it instead, so I left. I went on to find more and more, but not suited what I wanted, so I decided to leave, and on my way out, I was called Gayatri. I believe the dream went on also. I was rolling in the open air, in the grass, feeling free and happy, when a group of older kids came around with scissors in their hands. They were having a mock war or something. At first, I was scared, but not after I realized that no one was really going to get hurt. September 10th, 1976. I dreamt that Kim and I drove up to Lakrasena Ashrama. Kim was the boyfriend I left behind in San Clemente when I first went to join the ashrama on the East Coast. And so in this dream, and this is a year later after I had joined the ashram, he came into my dream. We had kept contact through letters. He kept wondering, are you going to stay? Are you going to stay? Are you going to come home? Are you going to come home? Or, you know, and he held on until I actually wrote the letter and said, no, I am staying. So here he is in my dream. Kim and I drove up to the Lakrasena ashram to go to service. And as we looked for a parking place, he kept driving until a road led out of the ashrama. I heard Ma chanting Om in the temple, and I knew service had started. I thought, we better park or else we'll be late. But he kept driving down this road away from the ashram. I thought, okay, we'll just go for a